Next up, Grace Lewis has been at Oakridge since preschool.
Hi, my name is Grace Lewis, and I'll be talking about my adoption story. You might say I'm a typical 17-year-old teenager. I text too much, have posters of Taylor Swift and One Direction in my bedroom, dread math homework, worked one summer at McDonald's, and love tacos, Disney World, and strawberry ice cream. I stress over the upcoming AP exams, have no clue what I'm wearing to prom, but am thrilled to have no uniforms after spring break. And yet, my story has a unique beginning. I was born in Chongqing, China in April 1996. I had little time to get to know my birth parents due to the one-child policy, which is a form of population control. At the age of 1 month, my birth parents chose to leave me somewhere safe where I'd be found and cared for. I was found and taken to a large orphanage and called Lele, which means little flower. A nice Chinese couple was asked to be my foster parents. I will never know if my birth parents already had a daughter or wanted a son. I'll never know if they lived in a city of 30 million or in a small farming community hours away. I do know my birth mom likes spicy food because I love hot sauce. And I do know she gave me jet black hair and dark brown eyes. I do know they chose life for me instead of abortion. I believe they thought long and hard on where to take me where I'd be cared for. And I believe that every April 16th, they still wonder where I am and who I've become. My foster parents, the Changs, had already raised 2 grown daughters. The one-child policy was not implemented until 1979. They lived in a small apartment in a tall high-rise with no elevator. I was spoiled and allowed to sleep with my foster mom, Po. I was read to daily and given a favorite food, a banana. About the same time, thousands of miles away in Arlington, Texas, my mom was watching the evening news. She heard the name Debbie Simmons and leaned in closer to see what it was about. Several women were getting off the airplane at DFW. They were carrying bundles, laughing and crying. One of these women was named Debbie Simmons, and she was a lawyer from Dallas. They looked tired and rumpled, but thrilled to see their families. They held up their newly adopted Chinese daughters for photo ops. Many months and at least 75 documents later, on July 21st, 1997, I got to meet my forever family. My brother, Adam, who at the time was 10, my mom, who was crying the whole time, and my dad, who just stood there quietly and took pictures. I only cried once, and that was when my foster mom came to say goodbye at the hotel. After a long flight, I came home and I got to meet our black lab Radar and settled into my new home. Similar to many of you Alpha and Omegas, I was welcomed to Oakridge at the age of 3. My first grade teacher was Miss Kennedy, and our principal was Miss Elsesser. I attended dozens of birthday parties, sold Girl Scout cookies, and slept in the sack with Blue Hawk and Morningstar. I dressed up for Owl Fest and read my poem at the parent tea with Mrs. Jones. Some experiences, however, were not typical. Like strangers would ask, "Does she know she's adopted?" And my response would be, hello, yeah, I'm right here. And then there were those adoption jokes that pushy, inquiring minds would ask my mom. Like, is her father Chinese? And my mom would say, I don't know, I didn't catch his name. And then there were those Asian stereotypes. One summer, I took a government class at Lamar High School, and the teacher said to me, "You must be under a lot of pressure at home." And I just said, "No, my parents are white." And then there's that one that everyone always gets, all Asians look alike. I'm always compared with Tan, who's another classmate, and teachers and students still confuse me for her. At one of my YMCA soccer games when I was 9, another teammate said that another player and I were too dark to be on the team. Little did she know that I would run 350 miles on the cross-country team and win several medals in track. Like many adoptive parents and their China dolls, my parents tried to expose me to Chinese culture and tradition. Every Chinese New Year, we'd dress up in red high-neck silk dresses and go out to eat and celebrate with other Chinese families. One year, it was Year of the Ram, and they had a petting zoo, and they had sheep you could pet. And then the next year, it was Year of the Horse, and they had ponies behind the restaurant that you could ride. After that, I was so thrilled to find out what the next year was that I asked my brother. And my brother smiled and said, "It's the Year of the Snake." And I said, "I'm not going." Over the years, I was given several opportunities like class trips, summer camps, musical theater, and community service at Mission Arlington. However, I also got to volunteer at Christmas at an orphanage in Colima, Mexico. I also helped with a Bible school in a remote village in a Russian forest. Also, I got to go back to Chongqing to help decorate a preschool and celebrate my 6th birthday with my foster parents. Our home is you might say, is a little different. We've hosted several international guests from places like Rwanda, Belfast, and China. These experiences created a tapestry of who I'd become. I am Grace Victoria Simmons Lewis, a Chinese American graduating owl who is ready to face new challenges with enthusiasm. Along the way, I was given 3 sets of parents: my birth family, who gave me life, my foster family, who protected and nurtured me in my fragile first year, and my forever family, who brought me to Oakridge. In Ecclesiastes 4:12, it says, "A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." This is like a braid. 1 strand is my birth parents, 1 strand's my foster parents, and 1 strand's my forever family. And together they form a strong, courageous me.